Hey, what's going on guys? My name is Jake and you are watching Bigfoot Reviews, and this is the FEELGROUNDS original knit. Now, I know that the title of this might seem a bit clickbaity, but stick with me. I've been a barefoot user for about 5 years. Before the FEELGROUNDS original knit, I only purchased shoes from Vivo Barefoot, the reason for which is the namesake of this channel, but more about that later. Despite most of my experience only being with one brand, I would consider myself quite experienced with barefoot shoes. I bought the FEELGROUNDS original knit to replace my 5-year-old Lux leather shoes by Vivo Barefoot, and I use them every day for work, general everyday wear, and going out on the town as well. They were leather, they're barefoot, so they're a little bit polarizing in their shape, but they're still good enough. You're not going to get turned away by a band. The reason why I'd only use Vivo Barefoot is because it's so difficult for me to find shoes in my size, so I tend to stick with what I know. I tend to stick with the brands that I know are comfortable and fit me well, and that do my size, of course. But then I got a sponsored advert for FEELGROUNDS, so I thought I'd give them a try. As you can see, these shoes are pretty casual looking compared to a leather Lux, which you would have seen a picture of in the edit, but they're a lot less polarizing. They're a lot more normal looking. When you're wearing barefoot shoes, especially the Vivos, it is pretty obvious that you're not wearing traditional shoes. One of the biggest draws of the shoe was that it's a knit which boasted water resistance. I don't know if you can see, I don't know how good the quality is on the camera, but it's like a knitted material. So I took a chance. So what we're going to do, we're going to go down now to the desk view, if I can get a good shot of it, just so you're not constantly looking at my face, and we'll talk about the pros and cons. Alright guys, so here we are. The pros of these shoes: they're quite an approachable shape, you know, they're not too polarizing. They're kind of similar to your traditional Vans, I suppose, in the way that they're styled. You can probably see just by looking at them that they haven't been well worn. One thing I didn't mention before is that I've only had these for just over a month. I bought them on Black Friday. They took nearly 2 weeks to get to me, which was a bit of a bummer, but also I wasn't too surprised, obviously, with Black Friday delivery options, and also the fact that I believe they're a German-based company, so shipping from Europe to the UK in the middle of Brexit negotiations. I don't really have any major quibbles about how long it took to get to me, just something to note. But yeah, so I've had these for probably just over a month. In that month, I've only worn them 10 times. We'll get into that a bit more later. Again, like I said, these were designed to replace my everyday work shoe. The knit material seems pretty good in terms of quality. There's no pulls or holes or defects in that sense. And their water resistant claims. I work in a restaurant, so if there's spills, there's drinks, there's sauces, just, you know, you don't want to get wet feet on shift. And the knit material seems good in that sense. It's comfortable, it's soft, it's squidgy, it's, you know, as you can see, I haven't cleaned these shoes for this photo shoot, but why would I do that? It's got quite a decent toe box, not as big as, again, Vivo. And for those of you that are new to barefoot shoes, the toe box is actually quite important to what it is to be a barefoot shoe. The toe box, the wider the toe box, it's designed to allow your toes to spread as you push off the ground, you know? Instead of your toes being compacted into a tighter shoe, they're supposed to allow your toes to do that. Here's a little comparison against some Vivos that I have. I don't know if you can tell, but it is quite a bigger toe box on the Vivos, which is one of the reasons why I thought I'd give these a try, because they're less in your face about it. The shoe's quite comfortable. It's a 5mm thick sole, which is thicker than Vivo, so that's another reason why I quite like them. I thought they might be a bit more comfortable for 8-hour days on your feet in a restaurant, but still give you a bit more flexibility in the actual shoe for comfort and for that barefoot feel. The cons, however, is a bit of a longer list. The build quality is, well, it's not really build quality, it's more of maybe a quality assurance standard. You can see that the glue lines are quite obvious. you know. And on this shoe, the black shoe, it's not too bad. On the front, it's a bit worse there. On the black shoe, it's not too bad, but on the lighter colours, because they do offer a few different colours of this shoe, it might be a bit more obvious. Unfortunately, the squishiness of the sole and the comfortableness of the sole is about the only pro of the sole. The rest of the sole is god awful. I think the squishiness does kind of play into its lack of slip resistance and wear resistance. It's 5mm thick, which, like I said, is thicker than the Vivos, but I certainly wouldn't trust these to be as puncture resistant as the Vivos. Now, FEELGROUNDS themselves, the company, they do not make any claims about the puncture resistance of these shoes, whereas Vivo do. You can check out their website if you want to actually know what that is. I don't have it in front of me. But the slip resistance and the wear resistance is just awful. These are incredibly slippy shoes. My first time wearing them, I wore them on a walk to the train, and I just couldn't get anywhere. I literally took one step off of my front doorstep and nearly slipped over, which is something I've never experienced with any other shoes, let alone any other barefoot shoes. And the other big one, which you might have noticed from me sort of flicking this shoe around, but the tread on the shoe, you can see that a little bit of wear there, but also you might be able to tell if you look at this one here has got a bit of texture on it still, you know, and then this one's got a bit less texture. This one's not only got less texture, but it's actually worn down, and then here they're completely worn flat. Let me try and get there. Look look at these treads here compared to this, and it's not just there, it's also on the heel as well, less obviously, but still pretty prominent. And it's the same on the other shoe. You can sort of see where my toes are. So there's my big toe, that's nice and smooth, and then the balls of my feet are here, nice and smooth, and then there's the heel as well, which isn't too bad, but still pretty awful. Again, 1 month of ownership and about 10 uses. Why only 10 uses? Because of how slippy they are. I'm not over exaggerating that these are completely unwearable in anything but bone dry conditions. The first time I wore these, set off in the morning to get my train to work, and it had been raining the night before. It wasn't icy, it wasn't snowy, it wasn't below 5 degrees Celsius, if I had to guess, just based on memory. And I nearly fell on my ass. It was awful, and that was as soon as I stepped out the front door. I powered through. I thought maybe it was just a particularly slippy spot for maybe a particularly wet spot, and maybe it would get better, but it didn't. And let me show you the other shoe, just no editing tricks. Boom, there's the other shoe. And again, didn't clean these, but look at that. Look at how smooth that is. Absolutely awful. So that's why I haven't tested the water resistance on these shoes, because they're literally unwearable in bad weather. They're unwearable in rain. They're unwearable in snow and ice. Just being on a wet British pavement just completely messed me up. Trust me, that's not any kind of animal product on my shoe. It's just mud, I promise. I have worn these, you know. But that, I mean, I can't say enough, guys. That is, well, I've already said too much. That's all you need to know. Look at that. I'm not kidding. I will happily put a screenshot up later of the order date. And even if I received them next day, which why would I lie about that? It's 2 months of wear, and it's absolutely awful. But it's not 2 months of wear, it's one. Because I'm not lying about what day I received them. And I'm going to take you back up top. I'm going to talk at the camera for a little bit because I've got a rant for you. Alright guys, so we're back. I don't know how clear that was to you guys, how awful these are, but let me give you a little story. So after the first time I wore them, no exaggeration, nearly fell on my ass multiple times walking to the train station. It was raining overnight, it was not raining at the time of my journey, and it was absolutely awful. So when I got to work, it was a Saturday, I remember that. Why do I remember that? Because I sent an email to FEELGROUNDS customer service basically just saying, look, you know, you've got a 30-day return policy, unworn. These aren't unworn, I have worn them, but this is what happened. And I gave them a little story. Just as I'm giving it to you, maybe I went into a bit more detail because I was trying to convince them to let me have a refund, so why wouldn't I? So, I got an automatic email response saying office hours are Monday to Fridays. That's how I remember it was a Saturday. Monday I got an email back from one of their representatives basically saying, sorry you've had this experience, let us offer you a 50% refund. I emailed them back saying, great, but is that only if I send the shoes back? Because if I have to send the shoes back, I'd rather just keep them and only wear them on good weather days. And they said, nope, you can keep the shoes and we'll give you 50%. Fantastic, great. I thought my issues were over. I'll have to look for some more shoes. I'll go back to Vivo, get some better shoes for the worst weather that was coming up. But no, they said you can keep the shoes and get 50% off. So I said, great. I thought that was the end of it. I'll just keep the shoes for better weather and I'll have to go back to Vivo and get some shoes for this worse weather. It was about, like I said, it was about a month later. I wore them a little bit when the weather was good. I wore them in a little bit of drizzle because it was December in England, so I couldn't completely avoid the rain. Funnily enough though, they actually got a little less slippy as I wore them. I thought maybe the rubber had some coating on it, and that meant that it had gotten a bit less slippy as that rubber had worn off. So I did wear them a little bit, like I said, 10 times tops, 10 times top. I put them on sort of first week or two of January, because I actually had sold something on Facebook Marketplace and the person was coming to pay me and I was going to do the handover. So I put them on ready for this person to arrive, and as I was putting them on I noticed the condition of the soles and I thought, this is absolutely crazy. I've worn these maybe 10 times. I've only had them just over a month to a month and 2 weeks, let's say, and it's completely ridiculous. So I contacted them again. Let's go back a little bit because I'm a ranter. Before buying these original knit shoes, I had pre-ordered some winter boots from them. They were promoting weather resistance, vegan materials, not that bothers me if I'm being honest, not to polarize anyone, but I don't care that it was vegan material. But they were promoting it was vegan material, it was great for winter, had some great tread, had some great slip resistant, you know, it was designed for winter weather. So when I emailed them about the slipping, I decided I was going to keep my pre-order of the patrol shoes because they're claiming to fix that issue with these more winter appropriate shoes. So sorry if I keep glancing away. I've got my computer with a few notes and my viewfinder. So I kept that pre-order, but when I saw the condition of these soles, I was like, nah, I'm not giving these guys any more of my money. This is completely ridiculous. So I contacted them again saying, look, can I please cancel my pre-order of your patrol boots that I haven't even released yet? And they said, yep, no problem, it's already done. I had literally already got the refund for the pre-order before the customer service rep contacted me in response, which I thought was, you know, credit to them. They were very prompt in their response. And they just did it without any question. But when they did contact me, they did have a question. They just asked why, and I explained why, and I sent them a picture. I said, look, it's completely unacceptable, and I'm not having any of it. I'm not giving you any more money. Basically, I didn't say it as rude as that. I thought I was quite polite. Again, I'm just getting up the email for reference. Look at the screen to read them to you. So I got an email back from the same woman that actually dealt with my complaint the first time round, but she didn't clock it, or it doesn't matter either way. So she confirmed the cancellation, and then she asked why. So I said, unfortunately, I'm going to read this verbatim. It's not good news. I've had my classic knits from you for about a month and have already complained about them on my first day of wearing them. I believe it was you I even spoke to. But this is the reason for me also cancelling the patrol boot, and I attached a picture of the poor quality soles. 1 month old shoes, I've already lost all tread in the high pressure areas. I have lost faith in the company, in the brand really. And she said, "Thank you very much for your detailed feedback. In general, the challenge with developing barefoot shoes is that there's always a trade-off between making the sole super flexible or very durable. And one of the reasons why so many happy customers love their FEELGROUNDS is because the outsole is so soft, lightweight, and flexible." Undeniable. That's it. It is all three of those things. Before we decided on the special footwear TPE we used for our outsole, we conducted lab tests and real-life tests, and the results were great. But of course, the level of abrasion and wear, now this is what really got me, because they're kind of customer blaming, and not in a good way, not in an okay way either. So the level of abrasion and wear depends greatly on many factors, like the walking pattern of the wearer. Yeah, fair enough. Barefoot shoes, it does require a different walking pattern, but they should be up to the challenge of any walking pattern, in my opinion. Weight, literally weight, the weight of the user. Like, I'm 6'3", size 14 shoes. Like, yeah, I'm a big guy, but you basically can't call your customer fat. Underground temperature and structure, whatever the hell that means, like the temperature of the pavement you're walking on can apparently add to the abrasion. So far we've received the occasional feedback of the sole wearing down too quickly. Okay, so you even if it's 1 out of 100 orders, there's clearly something wrong with your soles. They're just not good enough. That's why we are currently working on a more abrasion resistant sole that still allows for maximum flexibility of the barefoot feeling. For the Patrol, we developed a new material for optimal traction and durability. So at 1 minute, one sentence they're saying they're developing a new sole, and then the next sentence they're saying they've already developed one. So why not put the sole from the Patrol shoe on the original knit, right? Ridiculous. But yes, so it's a firmer tread, which I guess is not what they want for the original knit, or for the original mesh, whatever. Making the Patrol well equipped for a broad range of surfaces. Broad, they haven't said all surfaces. But of course, I totally understand the cancellation. We really appreciate your feedback, sorry if it makes a noise, as we continuously improve and can only do so when you guys tell us what you need. So it was a relatively polite response, apart from the fact that she basically called me fat and said that I must walk like an ogre and scuff my feet as I walk, and the underground temperature is just ridiculous to me. So I just said, I appreciate your response, but I am a barefoot user of 5 years and have used 5.0 barefoot shoes for that duration. Their sole, and I couldn't help, I was a little bit miffed from what she basically said about me, and I guess whoever else complains about the sole being crap. And I said, the Vivo barefoot soles are only 3mm thick and yours are 5mm. Their soles are showing as much wear after 5 years as yours are after 1 month. And that is why I will not be buying from you again. Thank you for your time and taking on board my criticisms. So that is it, guys. I mean, one thing I don't think I did earlier was show you a comparison between the actual shoes. So these are 5 years old. They look pretty flat and worn down. And they are, they're showing some wear here and there. For example, when I bend it, you can see the seam is a bit split here. But these aren't my winter boots, so, who cares, right? These are my gym shoes. Try and show you as best I can. Look at that, okay? You can still make out the hexagonal pattern in the shoes, except for a few spots just there, So it is pretty worn down. Pretty worn down. Again, my toes, you can see it's worn down. I'm just trying to show you as best I can kind of the difference in height. Yeah, I mean, it's smooth, right? And the same with the heel. There you go, you can see that, right? You can see the difference. There you go, that's a good angle. Let's try and get that angle here. There you go, okay? 5 years. 1 month, there's no mistaking that they are worse. And like I said, slippy from day one, no issues at all. I've worn these in rain. It's not even slippy now. I haven't worn them in snow, but that's because they're clearly not meant for snow or ice. I've worn them in rain, but nothing else. So guys, Bit of a rant, don't know how long it's actually going to be. I might try and edit it down a little bit. This is my first video, so if you liked it, if you found it useful, subscribe, like. Hey guys, just wanted to reshoot the outro because it was absolutely awful. I completely skipped over it. To be honest, please like, comment, subscribe. If you want to see any other videos about barefoot shoes in particular, please let me know. I have actually bought 2 new pairs of Vivo barefoots to replace not only the FEELGROUNDS shoes that you've just heard about, but also my Doc Martens. It's, for those of you in the UK, that you probably know that we've been hit pretty hard by snow the last couple of weeks, the last month. And I was wearing my Doc Martens to and from work, and obviously all day at work, and they were just, going from barefoot shoes to Doc Martens is just inexplicable in terms of uncomfortableness. So I'll probably be posting a review on those boots soon, because I actually really enjoy them. They're a bit pricey, but we'll get to that later. Speaking of price, I literally did not mention it at all. The FEELGROUNDS are about just under €100, just under £100, which I think, if you haven't got the gist of it from what I said, again, I completely messed up the outro. If you haven't got the gist, they're just don't buy them, avoid them is the whole point of the video. Just avoid the FEELGROUNDS for just over £100. I don't think you can really get a pair of Vivos for less than 100, but for over £100 you can get some really good quality barefoot shoes that are comfortable, great build quality, great materials. Can't say enough good things about them, to be honest. I'm glad I found them before any other barefoot company, because it might have put me off. And really just avoid the FEELGROUNDS. I don't know about the Patrol, they haven't even come out yet. Apparently they were supposed to be shipping at the end of January when I first placed the pre-order, but nothing's materialized yet on the website, because I have been checking the website for source material for this video. So for just over £100, FEELGROUNDS do have sales, sorry, not FEELGROUNDS, Vivo Barefoot do have sales quite a lot. And you can also get 20% off if you refer a friend, and they've got vouchers, and they've got 10% off your first order, stuff like that. So if you are interested, I would recommend Vivo 100%. So like I said, like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you thought. This is my first video, and it's also my first time using the editing software that I've got, obviously, because it's my first video. So I know it's garbage, and I know that my camera etiquette is not good either. I keep looking at my monitor because that's where I can see myself. So I'm just distracted by my own looks, apparently. Alright guys, catch you in the next one.